Now, after 212 days, the financial capital Mumbai has reported more than 1,000 new coronavirus cases. The Omicron count is only growing at 167 currently in Maharashtra, with 72 people beating the infection. The city has reported 1,377 new cases and one death on Tuesday, a 70% jump in its tally on Monday alone. With this surge, active cases in the city has now surpassed 7,000. Maharashtra's tally also saw an uptick owing to surge in Mumbai. The state has reported 2,172 new cases. Maharashtra now has over 14,000 active COVID cases as of today.
मुंबई का पॉजिटिविटी रेट अभी 4% हो गया है, तो 5% तक अगर पॉजिटिविटी रेट जाता है तो हम जब सेकेंड वेव में थे तब ऐसा ही कुछ 7-8-10% का पॉजिटिविटी रेट था, लेकिन 5 के आगे का पॉजिटिविटी रेट निश्चित तौर पर बहुत ही अलार्मिंग होता है। तो हमें रेस्ट्रिक्शंस के बारे में भी गंभीरता से सोचना पड़ेगा। वैक्सीनेशन ड्राइव और अच्छी तरह से किस तरह से हम कर सकते हैं, और रहा सवाल कोविड अप्रोप्रिएट बिहेवियर को भी और स्ट्रिक्टर मोड पे हम किस तरह से ला सकते हैं, यह हम विषय ऊपर चर्चा माननीय मुख्यमंत्री जी के मीटिंग में होंगी।
All right, it's now day one of Fresh Curbs that kicks off in the national capital. Long queues have been witnessed right outside several metro stations and crowded bus stops as services operate at 50% capacity. Metro commuters faced difficulties as crowds piled up, flouting social distancing norms amid the Omicron scare. Crowds of devotees were also seen last night at the iconic Hanuman temple and other religious places. Delhi Disaster Management Authority is now going to meet today to discuss current COVID situation. LG Anil Baijal, Chief Minister Arvind Kejriwal and senior officials along with experts will be attending this meet. Delhi's positivity rate has now risen to 0.89% and the Omicron count has touched 238, out of which 57 people have recovered according to latest data from the Health Ministry. Meanwhile, schools, colleges, cinema halls, gyms, spas are all closed in the national capital. Shops of non-essential goods and services in markets and malls are opened on an odd-even formula from 10 a.m. to 8 p.m. Restaurants are permitted only 50% seating capacity from 8 a.m. to 10 p.m., while bars can also operate with the same 50% capacity but 12 noon to 10 p.m. only.
Under the GRAP 1 yellow alert guidelines, markets and malls are allowed to open stores on an odd-even basis only. In addition, restaurants and pubs have been restricted to 50% of seating capacity, and restaurants will be closed at 8 p.m. while bars can remain open till 10 p.m. The night curfew has also been put in place in Connaught Place. Therefore, the effects of these guidelines is very visible. In restaurants and stores, the vaccination status of the staff and the notices saying that only 50% occupancy inside restaurants is allowed are back in place. Staff is also outside various stores with hand sanitizers being given to the shoppers who are coming here. The stores are opening only on an odd and even basis. However, the traders associations are not happy. They say that with New Year coming up, the shoppers would have come out in full force, and this kind of restrictions and shutdowns will affect their business negatively. However, with the government imposing these guidelines, the shoppers and the shopkeepers are following the guidelines and asking people to ensure that they are masked and ensure social distancing. In New Delhi with cameraman Nasir, this is Anisha Mathur for India Today.
अभी तक एक भी पेशेंट को ऑक्सीजन लगानी नहीं पड़ी है जो ओमिक्रॉन से पॉजिटिव रहे हैं, और सभी लोग बिल्कुल ठीक होकर चले गए हैं। पॉजिटिविटी लगभग 1% के आसपास चल रही है। ऐसे हैं कि जो बाहर से लोग आए हैं वो थोड़े दिनों बाद पॉजिटिव हो रहे हैं, तो उनके कांटेक्ट के लोग या उनके घर के लोग ज़्यादा हो रहे हैं। फिर भी सभी को सतर्क रहने की ज़रूरत है।
Now, Delhi has a yellow alert in place to contain the spread of Omicron. Akshatananda Gopal explains the curbs that have been imposed. Let's take a listen.
With the Delhi Chief Minister sounding a yellow alert now in the national capital, what are the curbs that are back in place in Delhi? Well, there's a night curfew that is in effect right now from 10 p.m. to 5 a.m. every day. Beyond that, also the other measures that have been taken is that schools, colleges, cinemas, gyms, all of that will be shut now. Beyond that, private offices are allowed to function, but with 50% staff to ensure that social distancing is maintained in these offices. Non-essential shops will open on an odd-even basis, particularly in malls. They'll be allowed to open one day and then close the next. Restaurants will be allowed to open from 8 a.m. all the way to 10 p.m. So their timings don't change, but with 50% capacity, again to ensure social distancing. Bars also are allowed to function. The timing for them is 12 noon to 10 p.m. They have to adhere to that timing with 50% capacity. Again, 100% seating will not be allowed. Metros, trains, buses, public transport will essentially run, but again, with 50% seating capacity to ensure social distancing. As far as marriages and funerals are concerned, goes back to square one. Only 20 attendees will be allowed in marriages and funerals. All political gatherings are banned. All cultural, religious gatherings at this point will not be allowed till there's a relook at the current norms and curbs that are put in place by the government.
Now, Omicron cases across India continue to see a surge. The tally now stands at 781. Maharashtra now has 167 cases. West Bengal has reported 11 cases. 45 cases have been reported from Tamil Nadu. Let's take a look at this ground report coming in from Kolkata and Tamil Nadu.
COVID-19 cases are on the rise in West Bengal, and as of December 28, the number of COVID-19 cases stands at 752, while a day earlier than that, it was at close to 430 cases. Despite the fact that the cases are rising, the West Bengal government has chosen to lift the night curfew that was there in terms of the restrictions, but it could be that after the 1st of Jan, the restrictions would again be in place, considering the fact that the cases are on the rise. The restrictions were lifted keeping in mind the Christmas and New Year season, but because cases are rising, the West Bengal government is keeping an eye on the situation across the state. With camera person Kiranjit Das, Prema Rajam in Kolkata for India Today.
COVID-19 cases in the state of Tamil Nadu are seeing a rise. On December 28, 619 COVID-19 cases were reported, and 11 new cases of Omicron were also confirmed. Now the state tally as far as Omicron is concerned is around 45, of which 2 cases have been cross-verified to Puducherry and Kerala. With New Year around the corner, we're seeing that new restrictions have been put into place by the Chennai police. We're being told that in the beach there will not be any kind of New Year celebration that will be allowed. We're being told that on the day of New Year and the New Year Eve, a lot of restrictions will be put into place. No public gathering will be allowed. Even residential associations have been instructed not to have any kind of gathering in their apartments or societies. We're already seeing at the Besanagar beach, where we're currently at, barricades have been brought in here. Even here, people will not be allowed to celebrate New Year from 9 p.m. onwards. With COVID-19 numbers increasing, these are the measures that people should be using and ensuring they follow to prevent the spread of the pandemic. With camera person Daniel from Chennai, this is Akshana for India Today.
Now, amid the rising Omicron cases, Hyderabad has forgotten to enforce COVID restrictions. It seems Telangana government has now actually extended liquor shop timings for New Year's, while other states are imposing night curfews and sweeping curbs. Telangana government, on the other hand, has granted permission to sell and serve liquor at bars and events and in-house events until 1 a.m. on New Year's. Retail shops selling liquor to stay open until 12 a.m. The government, however, has asked to follow standard operating procedures of COVID-19.
We are surprised and shocked for the decision taken by the Telangana government to function all restaurants, bars, pubs as usual on the day of New Year celebrations. We demand Telangana government to withdraw the decisions and impose restrictions on New Year celebrations. How a democratically elected government can think of its revenue at the cost of its own public.
On Tuesday, Telangana reported 228 COVID-19 cases, while 62 Omicron cases also reported in the state. But amid all this thing, one particular decision of Telangana government has attracted a lot of criticism from opposition party. The government of Telangana has decided to allow pubs, bar, restaurant and events to remain operational till 1 a.m. on 31st night, while liquor outlets will also have extended hour and they'll close only after midnight. This decision has attracted criticism from Congress as well as BJP. Opposition parties are asking when neighboring states like Maharashtra and Karnataka, they have announced several curbs on New Year's celebration where large-scale gathering is expected. Why Telangana government is not considering any kind of curb? And that too, when state, in particular Hyderabad, is reporting Omicron cases. With camera person Damodar, Ashish in Hyderabad for India Today.
Meanwhile, doctors have wondered at the reasons behind long COVID and why it affects the organs of the human body. A breakthrough study now that's been done in the United Kingdom or United States there on the COVID dead really tells us that COVID stays in the human body for months longer after recovery as well. Here's this news report.
2 years into the pandemic and countless cases of people suffering from long COVID. Some had difficulties in getting back to a normal life months after recovery. Scientists today have found some answers behind the extended illness. Scientists at the US National Institute of Health said they found that the virus is capable of replicating in human cells well beyond the respiratory tract in the human body. Because SARS-CoV-2 spreads within days from the airways to the heart, brain and almost every organ in the body, where it may stay for months. Studies say the delayed viral clearance is what leads to persistent symptoms of long COVID. Scientists have detected persistent SARS-CoV-2 RNA in the brain for 230 days. Infection of the lungs could lead to virus spreading in the bloodstream or viremia in mild cases. Results were based on samples taken from autopsies of 44 COVID dead patients. Indian medical experts have called the study a breakthrough in understanding long COVID.
It means it is not only limited to respiratory tract, the lungs. It could go into any part of the body, which includes heart, brain, etc. And all these long COVID symptoms like neuropsychiatric manifestations, seizures, brain fog, etc., they can all be found.
We have seen that even after recovery from COVID, the patients continue to have different symptoms. They were never fully comfortable, they continue to have symptoms. So there was always a concern that probably COVID virus has caused permanent damage to the organs, or it is due to the persistence of the organs.
Less viral clearance outside the lungs is related to weak immune response in the body in early stages.
ऑटोप्सी स्टडीज में ये पाया गया कि कई बार ये इन्फेक्शन करीब मोर देन 290 डेज तक वायरस, एक्टिव वायरस या रेप्लिकेटिंग वायरस बॉडी के अंदर था। तो ये दर्शाता है कि इन्फेक्शन इमीडिएटली आप दवाई दें और तुरंत से ठीक हो जाए, ऐसा नहीं है, ये मिथ है। तो इसलिए, और ये नहीं है कि हर केस के अंदर ये वायरल इन्फेक्शन जो है इतना लंबा चलेगा।
The results of the study, published in the science journal Nature, is yet to be peer-reviewed. But doctors are beginning to understand that COVID is multifaceted, systematic disorder.
Emerging scientific data now shows that reasons for brain fogging as well as neuropsychological manifestations of COVID have led to people suffering from long COVID for several months. As more such studies emerge, it will be known soon that influenza is not what COVID is all about, and it is ultimately a multi-systemic disorder infecting the whole human body. With Pawan Kumar, Milan Sharma for India Today.